Makes you kind of want to dance, doesn't it? But I'm not going to dance. I'm going to walk over to the other set, our chat set, we call it here in the expansive Studio 9. Most beautiful studio here at TSN. Oh, here's Cheryl Pounder and Frankie Corrado to chat about this Oilers victory.
Oh, yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Frankie's got a great jacket. Cheryl, you've got the beautiful shoes here.
I've said it over and over again. It's either skates or it's runners.
Right,
you know,
right.
because the heels. Ask my mom. I can't
How
walk
many
in them.
different colors do you have?
Not that many, actually. But these, I wear my daughters.
Okay.
You know, I steal them out of her closet. You know that it's
TSN,
bad.
It's time we up the wardrobe budget so we can get Cheryl some more shoes. So the Oilers a win away from winning this series. And interesting because Jay Woodcroft decides to load up that top line. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane. What did you guys see from them on this night?
Unbelievable, right off the top of the game. You know, they were just urgent. They had this urgency about them. And when you look at these guys, I mean, you got Kane together, Draisaitl and McDavid. Can you imagine trying to defend against them? Not only do you have world-class speed, you've got patience galore in Draisaitl, who can one-time the puck. And then you've got Evander Kane, who just knows how to get available for a shot as he walks off the wall, gets to the dot, and what a blistering one to put it by on the power play. And then this one down below the goal line. I don't know, how about right in his wheelhouse? That's Draisaitl. He's on his butt, but guess where the puck is? It is in the net. And just the way they weave, hey? The motion that they create in the offensive zone, they can manipulate their opponent at will one-on-one. When they're connected and create two-on-ones in the offensive zone all over the place, they stretch the zone, they shrink the zone. And I mean, the world's their oyster when they're together. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a huge challenger because your margin for error drops so much when you have to play against these guys because you just let your guard down for a second, and you have a guy like Draisaitl and Kane who can work so well together down low. They protect the puck really well. We all know what McDavid can do, but it just gives you a little more options as far as, like, even Draisaitl went out with Klim Kostin and Kyler Yamamoto, and because you're playing 11 forwards, they go out against LA's fourth line, and they have a dominant shift. So those guys are being able to get utilized more and more, and you feel that effect.
And it feels like we've been talking about Edmonton's need for depth scoring, better depth players for years, and they've got it now, and they really showed up in Game 5.
I mean, that's the thing that's making this team dangerous right now. Like, you need to create some kind of separation against the LA Kings because you know the longer you keep them in games, the longer they're going to find ways to keep themselves relevant or find a way to win that game. And the depth scoring came through tonight. It's Nick Bjugstad. It's Brett Kulak, who was skating really well. And Bjugstad scores a goal in front of the net where it's like, this is where a lot of these goals are being scored in the playoffs. It's a lot of tip-in goals. You understand the need to break down a goalie like Jonas Korpisalo, who's been excellent. But more than just the goal scoring, it's guys like Warren Fogle and Ryan McLeod, like these players that can go out there and win a shift for you at any given moment, give you some energy, and they're not getting scored on. So all these depth guys that Edmonton has brought in, they're part of the solution, whereas in the past, it may have been a problem for this team.
Well, and you feel like you're contributing, right? How far that goes up and down your lineup with that kind of momentum, no matter how many minutes you're playing with. You're trying to kill minutes just to buy some time for the McDavid line or even the matchups as you go along, right? You want to know that you can get that secondary scoring. You got it from Hyman as well. I like that you mentioned Kulak, though. The defender jumping down, diving down the weak side, recognizing that the coverage had just turned their eyes and boom, down that weak side.
He's been sneaky great in this series. Brett Kulak has. And, you know, Edmonton's power play has been the best power play in the league all year. The one danger, Matthias Ekholm, it's been a home run trade, but the one danger was trading away Tyson Barrie. You didn't know how that power play was going to come together with Evan Bouchard. Obviously, we didn't have to worry too much.
He's not afraid to shoot.
No.
And we were talking about that. You know, as a young kid on the blue line, you could be like, hey, I've got Draisaitl, I've got McDavid here, I got to move the puck. Well, he's making the right plays. He's shooting the puck when he has to shoot the puck. And, I mean, there's so many layers to this power play. I mean, it's disgusting, really. You're waiting for them to make a mistake because there are so many potential options. You have an A, you have a B, you have a C. And so it's which one do you take? Pick your poison because one can act as a decoy, but then you've got the net front presence taking away eyes. eyes. And how about off the face of Hyman? Should have been the Man of Steel on that one, eh?
Yeah.
Just taking it off the face and just putting it in the net. But the different layers, I mean, it is pretty incredible because as a former PKer, because I was never on the power play, by the way, I might add, you know, what do? You try and get in the shooting lanes, and your goaltender has to be your best performer. But it's real difficult to put them at bay when they're 8 for 14 on the series, 57%.
It's a huge challenge, too, because you feel like you get a clear. You send the puck down 200 feet, and now you have a minute 40 still to go. And that's a minute 40 where McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent-Hopkins and Bouchard are all going to work the puck around. And they've been afforded the option to be very patient. Like, they don't have to force anything because they have a guy like Hyman who can go out and retrieve so many pucks. And like we talk about Draisaitl at 5-on-5, how he protects the puck so well, does the same thing on the power play. And you have the best player at gaining the zone and entries in Connor McDavid. So the power play goes 2 for 3 in this game, and it's been a major factor throughout this series, and it hasn't slowed down from the regular season. It's been really, really impressive, and there's so many different ways they can beat you. And I just, like Evan Bouchard, it's so big that he's a guy who says, I'll actually be a factor on this power play.
Right.
I don't feel like I need to just pass to Draisaitl and McDavid every single time. Like there's confidence in his ability to run a power play, but be a major factor in it.
And it can run up high and it can run down low. And that's the toughest part about it.
This team probably played the best they have all series, but now you have a few-day break, an unusually long break until Game 6. Could it potentially work against them, Cheryl?
I don't know. You get some rest. You have your big boys on the ice. You know, I think anytime you can get some rest in the playoffs, it's important. It's valued for both sides, really. And you know that McDavid and you know Kane and you know Draisaitl, they're going to eat a ton of minutes up again. So when it comes to playoff hockey, you take the rest when you can get it.
Yeah, and even Evander Kane, like we know he's been banged up. We saw he's not really skating in the morning. So anytime you get an opportunity now to have a little more rest, it's going to bode well for guys. Take the rest. I remember there was one year where rest is a weapon was going around the league. And there was a coach that was like, I don't want to hear rest is a weapon anymore. But rest is a weapon.
Yeah, rest is a weapon.
All right. Game 6 is Saturday as the series shifts back to L.A. Guys, this is so much fun. Thanks for this.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.